Hello, the internet. Uh, what am I doing? Camp Dragon. Oop. Finished new raid. Oh yeah, dailies and stuff. That's a thing I do. Eventually, I'll be playing an MMO. Can I do this yet? Squad isn't ready. I want more healing. Accompanying a gladiator. Nope, that's worse. Bum. Gnawing goat. Who do I want to get rid of? Three more members of the same class, which I don't even have the possibility to do. Accompanying a gladiator. Tactical ability. Tactical is yellow, I think. Oh yeah, I see. 128. %15 increase to a low number is not very strong. Nope. It's not a thing I do on Windows. Go to Google Sheets and start working out some numbers, maybe. Cecily has 24, 117, 31. Nanasomi has 41, 26, 117. Delbois 98, 26, 56. Cieli. Guess I don't actually care how I spell it, but whatever. Egnil 56, 25, 95. Samga 21, 78, 55. 9 goat. $88, 22, 52. Great, and here I want it to be oops. How do I do it again? And nope, that's not what I want. Okay, equals, there we go. Yeah, that's what I want. Oops. Not a value. Some of those. There we go. Suggested autofill. Alright, and Nanasomi is actually 128. So if I were to sort based on this, sort Z to A, then based purely on the numbers, I want Nanasomi, Debois, Adnu, and Sisley. Great. I don't know if there's a good way to filter. Always goes to this fucking screen. Oops. There we go. Okay, so if I know what I want, there might be a way to do this in Excel. I mean, probably it's not It's not that exciting. Alright, so if I want the middle one to be more Cecily, it would mean getting a gnawing goat instead of who? Paginal. Right. Just still below, but just on a different metric. Right. Okay. Well, now I have a way. Oh, actually, is there... That's not actually optimizing. That's just... Alright, so... Sort by total. Gnawing goat is still the best option. Although maybe... No, it's less than Cecily, so that doesn't help. Yeah. Whoa. Alright, let's see. 21, 78, 55. I mean, it doesn't really help with... Samga, Suli, and this guy all have exact same stats. Is that because they're all 30? Oops. Oh. Okay. Interesting. So the number of stats is dictated by level, but the spread changes. Which means what? I want to level up gnawing goat, maybe is what that means? I don't know. Heck. This Nanasomi. Who I think is mostly just good because she's 45. She also has a good ability for her. Hmm. I'll just level them up a little bit more. Yeah, it's fine. Don't need to stress about it. Do 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 do. Bum bum. Yeah, whatever. Cancel reward someone with a flying two-person mount. Don't think the distinction between flying and not flying is relevant in this game, but reeling in the window. Speak with Inuvanu. Right, fishing. Okay. Reeling in the window. Bum bum bum. Guess I don't want to do those right now. I'll just not queue for that. Why is the tail twitching like that? Please stop twitching so, tail. Griffin. What up, nerd? Yeah, what do you think about that? What up, nerd part 2? Great. Did that. Bum bum. Bum 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 bum. It's on this level. The blue window. Bunch of grounds keepers, but only one grounds reaper. Ho ho ho. I did. I think it's actually a pretty cool mount. I like it better than this one, at least. Like, why is the cheese wheel on the back not even spin? That maybe is a thing from Fall Guys. I haven't noticed whether or not the back treads spin in Fall Guys, but it's a little... like, there's so few moving parts, including my character's not even here. Might as well make the wheels spin properly. Guess it does have a jiggly tail. Something. Okay, what am I doing here? Nailed down. Search for Wamara meat to use as bait. Which I guess is not one of these Wamaras. Podarge. Potterge. Okay, what am I doing here? So use the slice to lure out 2 Tsahales and obtain their meat. Alright, so what am I using it on? Ah. Tardal. So I've been thinking about making... there's like a global market analysis thing or whatever, or a market tracker at least, right? By global I mean all the different servers. I've been thinking about making my own personal daily maker to just tell me what servers I should buy stuff from to sell where. So I have a form of income. Just do the job of schlepping things from one server to the next. Be kind of cool. Oh, whoops, count cloud top. Oh, I can only sell where I am. Interesting. Well, it'd still be interesting to make a program to analyze it. I don't know if it would end up being worth it. Oh, nice. Yeah. I just hate, like, getting myself into a brain space to think about it every day or whatever. Which is why I want to think about it all at once up front and then just have something else to watch the numbers for me and tell me what to do. I have to figure out how to tie into the market analysis app though. That's okay. Might even be a fun way to practice making an AI to follow market things, which maybe I'll use on the stock market one day. So many fun things. Although it's not really one-to-one applicable, I guess. It's not like you're trading goods on the stock market. If I was to do the AI thing, specifically, I mean, it wouldn't take really an AI to do like trading goods from one server to another. You're just looking at basically flat numbers. And whatever number is biggest, that's the one you go for. So that wouldn't really use an AI. But if I wanted to have an AI that watches things like Final Fantasy PR stuff and patch notes and stuff like that, and speculate on the market based on that, that could be interesting and could be applicable. Probably track Reddit. Thinking of where my inputs would be for that. I don't know, where's Final Fantasy talked about? Is it on Twitter or something? I'm in, like, I don't know, community. Maybe poke around various Final Fantasy Twitch streamers' chats. Which would be a kind of interesting AI to do, just anyways, is try to parse arbitrary chats for relevant conversation topics and see if you can get any data out of that. Have you seen the new YouTube AI, chat AI thing for YouTube live streams? Basically, I think it's only on like big channels right now or something. I haven't actually checked though, so I don't know. But like certain channels that get trials of stuff, but they just have an AI that reads the last minute of chat or whatever and writes a summary paragraph to describe what's going on. And it's an interesting... They have an interesting product because it extrapolates what the streamer is probably doing based on how people are commenting. It's a really interesting product to think about. I have a vague dream of having like a stream companion AI that responds independently, like not to every statement, but like somehow decides what statements to respond to or what context to respond to, and just like barks at me random things. Which is one of the many things that I want to work on, but I want to work on other things first. There's so much of that in my life. Okay, daily is done. Camp Dragonhead. Is normally guarded by a score of Ixali warriors. I have been informed that House Fortune knights have already dispatched them. The enemy's gate lies open. We need but walk through. Oh, that one gate that I noticed a while back. Is this just a dungeon or is it a new map? Kind of looks like it's just a dungeon. Or not a dungeon, but a vent or something? I don't know. Whatever. Master Orkson, Master Alphino. As you can see, the gate is ours. Be advised that our scouts are reporting increased activity around the first mountain. Simply put, they are up to something and don't want anyone interfering. We stand ready to escort you to Zelfatol and aid you as you see fit. The enemy will be thick on the ground. Upon arriving, let us advance with care as we search for the site of the summoning ritual. The gods are good, we should only have to contend with the Ixal. But if they are not, we may be forced to do battle with the warriors of darkness. Yeah, okay, dungeon. Bum, bum, bum. Well, I guess I'll go back to this thing. Oversoul rags, you say? I fear that I've only a single tatter left in stock, and it's already been spoken for. But my good man, you must reconsider. My dear friend's life, and quite possibly mine own as well, hangs in the balance. I sympathize with your plight, friend, but a man has to make a living. I've been promised a copious supply of rare chimera membrane for these rags. Unless you can offer me the same, no deal. Ah, and you expect us to be able to summon such a rarity out of nowhere at a moment's notice? Now look what we have here. If it isn't the Warrior of Light from the Colosseum. Funny who you meet at the markets. As it happens, I just returned from my training, and the slaying of 10 chimeras just happened to be my task for the day. If it's chimera membrane you seek, you're more than welcome to a share. Excuse me. My lady, you are far too kind. Don't mention it. If it hadn't been for Inspector Hildebrand and Fluffy here, I'd still be tag teaming with that slimy beast and cheating my way to fame and fortune. And I'm a woman who pays her debts. That'll take me if that wasn't Avila the Tempest. Ever since she confessed to her trickery and started climbing back up from the bottom of the ranks, I've been proud to call myself one of her biggest fans. Why, I've half a mind to give you the rags you seek simply for the privilege of meeting her. It's funny that she came out of nowhere, gave me some stuff, and then went back the way she came. Kind sentiment, my good man. But we are more than happy to uphold our side of the bargain, aren't we, Fluffy? And with this, our task here is done. Now let us find this traitor named Guest. Traitor named Guest. Okay. This one. Fat Chobobo. The blundering Manderville boy is on his last legs, and you need something of mine to save him, you say? Perhaps you can give me a good reason why I should care. Those bloody Mandervilles are richer than the traders themselves, yet they have the audacity to haggle me down to the last gill for every purchase. If the family line ended today, I'd be a happier and wealthy man. And now, I believe the ballroom calls. Good day to you, and do pass along my condolences to the grieving parents. Have you not a shred of honor or compassion in that spindly body? Business rival or no, the man is on death's doorstep. After the events of that day, my father will not so easily forgive and forget, but it matters not to me. No, my love for you is as deep as the seven seas. I beg of you, milady, may I have this dance? Fluffy, what a lovely surprise. Are you here for the ball, perchance? Heavens, the poor inspector. Well, if it isn't the Lapis maiden in the flesh, what say you bid farewell to preening fops and scruffy adventurers and share a dance with a cultured gentleman befitting your great beauty? Why, it would be a pleasure and honor both, my lord. Provided you first provide my good friend Fluffy with the bottle of twice distilled water that he seeks. You know this man? Bah, if that is the price you would set, then so be it. Take it, it's barely worth its weight in gill anyway. Now, shall we, Miss Arabella? Worth its weight in... I knew Hildy to be a worthy rival, but to think he was this beloved by so many, clearly this realm would deeply mourn his loss. Quickly, Fluffy, let us deliver these goods while there is still time to save him. I've never heard that used in a negative. Barely worth its weight in gill. I wonder... Worth its weight in dollars isn't a phrase. I wonder how to parse that language. I trust the two of you wouldn't dare to come back empty-handed. Bloody brilliant. I'd take you over my muscle-headed half-wit of a husband any day. Now, stand back and let me show you some real Manderville home cooking. Doll, you bloody bugger, guide my skillet. Aye, that should stop its spread. Now it's up to Hildy to flush what's left out of his system. Don't worry, he's my son after all. I reckon he's still got some fight left in him. Look who I found. She was slumbering obliviously in a rubbish-strewn corner of Pearl Lane. Boy, did that nap feel good. Yes, I'm sure it did. Fluffy, word has it that Ellie has been sighted at the Sildun ruins. We must go there with all haste. You've done well by my dear boy today. Don't worry, I'll handle things from here. There's a nice warm bed for him. I think I know a few specialists who might know a thing or two about his condition. What in the seven hells are you standing around for? The future of Ul'dah is at stake. Fluffy, my strength is yours as well, for Ul'dah and for our friend Hildy. You remind me of my husband. What with you having more muscles than sense. If you're so keen on making yourself useful, why don't you run to the markets and bring me some fire crystals? Keeping my dear boy warm is key to fighting off the zombification. Let's see. I believe 20 crates or so should suffice. I'm a warrior, not a yes, my lady. I say, Enkidu, the burden we must bear simply to secure my long-awaited final confrontation with Fluffy. That said, the events of today have given me cause to reflect. Fluffy and Hildy both. Oh, to be blessed with such veritable legions of friends, tried and true. But alas, not I. No, only one true friend have I ever known, and she is long lost to me. You are a fine bird, and have given me great comfort in my travels, but you will never be Enkidu, my one and true companion. Oh, my friend, were you here with me, even Fluffy could not stand against our combined might. Oh, Enkidu, wherever you may wander, hear my words and return here to my side. Enkidu, do you hear me? Enkidu. Ye gods, what was that flash from the heavens? It nearly blinded me. And what? The crystals, where have they gone? Fancy meeting you here, old friend. That voice, could it be? My faithful companion, why must you always make me wait so? The chicken turned into another thing that can speak. Oh my god. I can look like a Manderville man. What are you doing dilly-dallying around here? Let me jog your memory. There's a moon-sick maid digging around at the Silda excavation site, with her mind set on turning Ul'dah into the land of the walking dead. Your concern for Hildy is most touching. Don't you worry. Mommy dearest isn't going to let her beloved son kick the bucket that easy. Okay. Guess Western Danland. Oh yeah, here we go. Oops. We've managed to track down Miss Ellie just up ahead, where your friends watch over her as we speak. Yet no matter how many times we try to reach out to her, she refuses to so much as answer. Needless to say, we considered physically incapacitating her. But that crate she's sitting on isn't just a makeshift chair. It's filled to the brim with the traitor's spurn. One misstep and the consequences could be dire indeed. You are our only hope, Fluffy. Even in her single-minded rage, surely the time you spent together must still count for something. You need not put yourself in undue danger. I only ask that you step forth to where your voice may be heard and call out your friend's name. I beg of you, Fluffy. Surely if anyone can convince the woman to abandon her madness, it is you. Right. Am I looking? I want to see the action too. Oh, right there. Okay. Ellie. she's just snoozing. Fluffy, I suggest you leave this place while you still can. I bear you no grudge, but should you so much as think of interfering, I'll not hesitate to turn you into a zombie too. So it's you after all. Consider me disappointed. Your sister Cece is already in custody. Surrender now, and I will see that no harm befalls her. Damn. What happens if you don't surrender? You're gonna go kick her ass? How little you understand us, Inspector. Then again, how could one born into a life of power and privilege ever hope to understand? Cece and I have no family, no friends, no fortune, nothing. Two sisters against the world, with only our quest for justice to give us meaning. Long ago, we made a vow. Should the worst happen, our mission takes priority over all. Yes, over our own wretched lives. Do you see now? Anything I might have once had to lose, I lost long ago. Now stand down or suffer the same fate as the Uldan dogs you would defend. Ellie, stop this madness. I'm sorry, Inspector. There's too many of them. These guys ancient dudes, or all in a day's work for a Manderville man. Damn. I want to be Thor. You only delay the inevitable. I have an entire legion of the undead at my beck and call. Face it, it's only the Inspector Hildebrand's ridiculously good fortune that you have even made it this far, and he's as good as 6 fulms under. Be forewarned, girl. Know that I speak from experience when I say, underestimate Hildy, and you do so at your own peril. I'm afraid you underestimate me as well. No mere splash of holy water can stave off the effects of the traitor's spurn. I fear the good Inspector's luck has finally run out. Thal's balls, is there no end to them? Not liking my chances. Greg, was it? It's a shame to lose you, Fluffy. Warrior of light that you are. You might yet have served one last purpose for us. Go forth, my zombie minions. Dun dun dun. Can't stop the brand. Darkness falls and hope fades to despair. 4 warriors born of light shall descend in the righteous glare. Bugger me with a broadsword, are my eyes to be believed? Warriors of light that I see. or Gentlemen of Light. Oh my god, stop the blinking. Alright, I'm just gonna go do my story now. I'll come back to this in like a week or whenever. This man has one hardcore fan. What a weirdly janky animation for getting across a door. Fuck is this guy? Tozol Hottle. I don't feel like he's ever shown up when the other people were still around.
So they were unable to see the ritual to its completion. Then Garuda is no longer a threat, and whatever the Ascians and the Warriors of Darkness were planning has come to naught. But we should not tarry. The knights have secured our path to safety.
Well, well. What do we have here? You'd better not have killed the Primal without us.
Who's this guy?
You!
Wait, I know you. Still walking, I see. I could have sworn my aim was true.
Just what is your game? Leading us a long way so these fools could step in and claim our prize?
No. Let's not make hasty accusations. By the look of things, the ritual was proceeding as planned. We arrived at the appointed hour. 'Twas they who erred.
It is hopeless. We cannot face them all.
Sure, we
Do
can.
mine ears deceive? A boy! So that's the way of it. Twins! You had me worried for a moment there. Know that I will happily make it quicker for you, if you just stand still.
Enough, Jarumal. We wouldn't want to upset the man in white with any unnecessary bloodshed now, would we? You've been awfully busy since we were kind enough to spare your lives.
While you were idly consorting with the Ascians, you mean? 7 hells! What could you possibly hope to achieve?
Should I explain it to you? Very well. Consider it a reward of sorts for beating us here. You know the tale of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, I take it? Of the Great Sundering and the reflections it created?
Across 10 and 3 they were divided. Reflections of the source, each possessed of shards of light and dark.
Just so. One of those reflections, the one nearest to the source, is our home. And we were the heroes blessed with her light. But not all worlds hold light and dark in equal measure. In ours, the power of light was greater by far. So the Ascians, who once threatened our home, were no match. And they fell before us, one after another, till none were left. Victory, we thought. And then came the light. A flood of pure, blinding radiance, annihilating shadow and color and life itself. Ere long, it will consume our world, leaving naught in its wake but blank perfection.
That cannot be. Do you honestly expect us to believe such a story?
Believe what you like. But it has happened before, on a world far removed from ours. The 13th, which was swallowed by the dark and transformed into what you call the Void. Unchallenged light would condemn us to a similar fate. And so we joined hands with our former enemies, and with their aid came here, to the source. For there is but one way to restore the balance and save our home. The Ardor. Calamitous destruction with the power to break down the barriers between planes and see our worlds rejoined.
You would doom our world to save your own? What would even become of us? Of you?
Enough. I tire of talking. You know our cause. You know what is at stake. We are prepared to do whatever it takes. Are you?
If there is aught you would say, say it. Otherwise, begone. You have no friends here.
All things considered, we should be grateful to have survived that encounter. Guess, just leave. Whatever. Do you think it could be true that to save their world they must bring ruin to ours? No, it matters not. Such wanton destruction is beyond justification. Whatever their reasons, they must be stopped. The sacrifice, the loss, it ends here. Forgive me, this is neither the time nor the place for idle introspection. The knight's gonna apprise Lord Edmund of our success, and we the Lord Commander. More importantly, I should like to see if my sister's condition has improved. You may take a moment for yourself if you wish. I will be at the congregation. Ooh, I have permission to fuck off and do whatever I want. How nice of him. Whoa. Ah, Fluffy. I've been waiting your return. See, after you helped bring an end to the Dragonsong War, we have striven to rebuild the city. Thanks to the assistance of countless craftsmen, our efforts to restore the firmament to its former glory are finally complete. In fact, House Zemael assembled a team of masons so skilled and efficient that they were able to finish the construction of an entirely new quarter. Its name is Imperium, and it was created to serve as a residential district. Oh, okay. The notice reads, workers sought for the firmament reconstruction project. In smaller letters it continues. Let it be known that large-scale reconstruction works aimed at revitalizing the Holy See of Ishgard has been approved by the Houses of Lords and Commons. Selected as the principal site for the project is the Firmament District, which sustained extensive damage during the war. Willing and able hands are now sought to contribute to the construction effort, regardless of birth and origin. From those skilled in gathering from the land to those adept at creating with their hands, the project needs are great and diverse. Interest party had invited to present also firmament. It's funny that I read the wrong one first. Well met, friend. Answering the call of the firmament, are you? Wonderful, wonderful. Wait, I know you. You're the savior of Ishgard. Are you saying that you would contribute to the reconstruction project? I do all blue quests, Mr. Man. To think that a fabled hero such as you would help us rebuild our city. We are grateful beyond words. There is, just one trifling matter. Do you perchance possess a work permit? It is required for non-Ishgardians, you see. I thought I was technically a son of whatever. Is that so? As I recall, you're... Oh, okay. House Forton. In which case, perhaps an exception can be made. Alas, I don't have the authority to make such a decision. Well, I do, and I believe the permit can be overlooked in his case. Lord Overseer, that you should grace us again. Greetings, my friend. It has been quite a while. Indeed, I shouldn't be surprised if you have forgotten me. True, I have no idea who you are. You needn't apologize. Fairly buried in snow at Skyfire Locks as I was, I've had precious little opportunity to return to the Holy See. It shall be my pleasure to reintroduce myself. I am Francel, youngest son of House Halionart. You delivered me from the most dire predicament once upon a time. Feels like an age ago that you and Lord Rochefort saved me from a heretic's fate. You had proven your worth to me then. Even so, little did I expect that you would go on to save our entire nation. You are a hero to us all, and no amount of words can express my gratitude. No, only through action could I begin to repay the debt. Thus did I resolve to do my part for Ishgard, that I might honor those noble souls who risked life and limb to protect the nation, souls such as you and Lord Rochefort. So, when an overseer was being sought for the restoration project, I put forth my candidacy as the representative of my house. Our workshops and engineers could be put to good use, I reasoned. It was by no means unanimous, but the Furies saw fit to see me elected to the office. Honored am I for this opportunity to serve the nation and to redeem House Halionar's good name. Owing to the contribution of artisans hailing from far and wide, we have accomplished our goal of rebuilding the district. However, we are still short-handed in the area of administration, on account of which I have been performing such odd tasks as I could. Which is what brings me here today. As a matter of fact, I'm about to go and survey our citizens in order to learn what they envision for the firmament. If you can spare a moment, might I have the pleasure of your company? Well-traveled as you are, your opinion would be of great interest to me, and I believe folk would be more willing to share their thoughts with you. You have my gratitude. Without further ado, then, let us take ourselves to the Jeweled Crozier. We are bound to find a diverse assortment of people there. Whoa. In this part of the place, it's mostly warm. Maybe just slightly brisk to make the heated baths feel nice. Welcome to Imperium. As our restoration efforts progressed, they eventually expanded to include the construction of this little taste of heavens on Earth. We are indebted to countless adventurers such as yourself, who helped bring about an end to the Dragonsong War, and as thanks, we wish to provide a space for you to call home here in Ishgard. Of course, we will still require a nominal fee for any plots of land or apartments you purchase, but know that your guild will help us rebuild bigger and better than before. If you would like to hear more, please speak with the resident caretaker for further assistance. You can buy apartments here. That's kind of fun. So you can roleplay being poor in a fantasy world. What does determination even do? Increases damage dealt by attacks as well. Oh, it's just damage. So, Fluffy, what did you think of Imperium? I do hope it was to your liking. That our borders were closed for so long, I worried that outsiders such as yourself might not take interest in this new district. Know that it is our sincerest wish that you and other noble souls will consider making Ishgard your new home. Determination sounded like it described longevity to some extent, so I assumed it was not damage, but cool. Brings me joy to see you safely return to us. What news from Zelfatol? Then we are not too late. On behalf of Ishgard, I offer you my deepest thanks. As for we who remained behind, Mistress Y'shtola has been tending to Mistress Alizé in your absence, and I am pleased to report that she has regained consciousness. I imagine you have many questions, especially given your recent encounter with the Warriors of Darkness. I know I do. Come, let me show you to her room. Do not worry, her condition is much improved. She is a resilient one, much like her brother.
Alizé, how are you feeling?
Well enough, brother. Thanks to the kindness of our hosts. They told me you had departed for Zelfatol while I was still abed. I slept much better knowing that. Thank you.
I take it your mission was a success.
As if we needed any further confirmation that they are in league with the Ascians. But to save another world? I think not.
I too thought his story fanciful at first, but it is possible there may be a kernel of truth in all of this. At the very least, none of his claims contradict the word's account.
You were following these people, Alizé. Why?
During my travels, I had oft enjoyed tales of the Scions and their exploits. But after a time, I began to hear whispers of a gifted and theretofore unknown band of adventurers. Adventurers who had supposedly sworn to travel the realm slaying primals in the Scion's stead.
The Warriors of Darkness. And in the course of investigating these rumors, you stumbled upon the Ascians' involvement.
Yes, exactly.
Forgive me, but if these Warriors of Darkness mean to bring about another calamity, to what end do they hunt primals?
To prompt an escalation. To deepen the beast tribe's feelings of helplessness and despair, and thereby drive them to summon ever more powerful gods. And lest we forget, these events do not occur in isolation. With their patron deities being slain left and right, the news of man's victory over Nidhogg must surely have sown panic in the minds of the Beastmen. 'Tis no wonder they wish to defend themselves.
power answered with greater power, death with more death. A vicious cycle fueled by fear and hatred. I know it's like all too well.
Indeed. The Ascians sow discord and desperation, and the warriors of darkness reap the harvest. And so it continues. Yet that is not the extent of their ambitions. The Ascian himself observed that once the powerless realize that the old gods have failed them, they will have little recourse but to look to a new one.
We cannot let that happen.
It should come as no surprise, but Alize and I have uncovered evidence that the Ascians have been manipulating certain parties to ensure that a constant stream of crystals flows into the hands of the beast tribes. If we sever these supply lines, we should at least be able to slow the escalation.
Agreed. Kral and I shall journey to Xelphatol and learn what we can of the Ixal's source.
Then I, for my part, pledge to lead a similar investigation into the origin of the Nath supply.
Sir Emmerich?
As a member of the Eorzean Alliance, Ishgard is honor bound to play an active role in maintaining the security of the realm. You might also say that I have some personal motivation, given the Ascians' dealings with my father. However, I make no secret of the fact that my knowledge of primal beings is scant at best. As such, I should be most grateful if one of your order were to assist me.
Allow me, Sir Emmerich. I have dealt with the Nath before.
Let us consult with Orianja then. Given his dedication to the study of primal beings, I should be surprised if he could not tell us something of value.
Allow me to accompany you, brother. And before you think to refuse, know that I am not the girl I once was. I shall not be a burden. You have my word.
But Alize, you... You are more than welcome. After all, it was you who set us upon this path.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid I can't allow you to leave just yet. Not until you try on the new outfit I prepared for you.
It's been many moons since last we worked together, though I believe the same cannot be said of the two of you. I confess I was aware of your subterranean expedition, of your search for the truth of the Calamity. Considered involving myself with her venture for a time, but as you know all too well, circumstances conspired to keep us apart. I can only assume she carried on in our absence. My apologies for keeping you waiting. I wear tan now. Look at my legs. Look at my legs again. Right then, shall we be off? Tataru never ceases to impress, though for a moment I feared she might furnish you with an identical outfit. Praise the 12 she did not. Mother and father were rather too fond of making us wear matching out clothes. Do you remember that time at the studium when that girl of yours crept up behind me in the hall and whispered, "Sister, please, she was not my him. Can we not have this conversation in front of the Warrior of Light?" So be it. Another time, perhaps. I should thank you again for your assistance with my expeditions, Fluffy. Though we left matters somewhat unfinished, I am nevertheless prepared to focus on the task at hand and aid you to the fullest extent of my ability. As you helped me to brave the coils, so too will I help you to defeat the warriors of darkness. Carriage? What? Meaning to ask about the carriage. I guess that's a thing from her quests. Whatever. New garments aside, I must say that you seem different, more resolute. Oh, right. Then when last we met, you have the look of a woman who is ready to fight for the future of Eorzea. To the extent of my abilities, perhaps, but I have no delusions of grandeur, nor will I pretend to have found myself or any such thing. I am here today because I would regret it if I weren't, that is all. Fair enough. Let us depart for the Waking Sands then, and see if Urianger can be of assistance. Bum. Urianger, apologies for calling upon you unannounced. Why, Master Alphino, would that the scholar had seen fit to grant me knowledge of thy coming. What bringeth thee and thine here this day? The warriors of darkness have returned. Pray allow us to explain. I too have heard tales in recent days of primal beings rising up only to be cast down by forces unknown. Alas, as thou didst observe, this serveth but to spur the beast tribes to pursue their goals with redoubled fervor. We have two objectives at this time: to identify and remove the source of the beast tribes' crystals, and to take direct action to prevent any further summoning rituals from reaching completion. Second is easier said than done, of course. While we were fortunate enough to learn of the Ixal's plans before they came to fruition, I should be surprised if the warriors of darkness and the Ascians did not have similar designs elsewhere of which we have no knowledge. Thou art wise to come hither, for this very day did I receive tidings most troubling from across the Strait of Mirlthor. O Gamorro stirreth, and there are whispers that the Lord of Crags neareth his return. Mere rumors, mark thou, but in light of thine own discoveries, thou canst ill afford to turn a deaf ear to their claims. Aye, we must ascertain the truth of the matter for ourselves. Let us consult with the Maelstrom forces stationed at Camp Overlook, Fluffy. Thank you for your counsel, Urianger. Pray inform us should you learn aught elsewhere. Else, I shall. If I may, brother, Urianger, is there anything else you would like to say? Alice? If not, then never mind. I only ask because you are normally rather more verbose. Nothing to add? Very well. Ere we depart, I wish to make a request. The Warriors of Darkness spoke of how the Ardor had the power to break down the barriers between planes, that our worlds might be rejoined. I would ask that you research this for us. Being nowhere near as well read as you, I'm sure I wouldn't know where to begin. That said, I've heard tell of a promising tome, the Garoon Oracles. Mayhap you could start there. By thy leave. Camp Overlook, was it? Very well. That's because Urianger is probably the guy in white. Dun dun dun. Seven hells. At this rate, I'll have to appeal to Maelstrom Khan for reinforcements. Whatever it is, we don't want any. I'll fancy that. Just when my Kobold problems look like coming to a head, signs of the Seven Dawn turn up. Itching to pitch in. Bloody brilliant timing is what it is. Right then, let's get to it. So our friendly neighbors in Ugamaru have got much more aggressive of late, just as you said. Matter of fact, our scouts spotted one sniffing about the stores just now, likely looking to make off with an armful of crystals. I'll be damned if I'm about to let that happen. Lend a hand and help us search the camp for the little bugger, would ya? You'd think with a whole squad of them being in our payroll, we'd be able to handle issues with them better, but whatever. Our Maelstrom friends seem notably more agitated than when we first arrived. Do you happen to know why that might be? Kobold in the camp, you say? That would appear to corroborate Urianger's information, yes. But to be so reckless as to infiltrate a Maelstrom camp and draw attention to their efforts is passing strange. Well, there will be time to think on this later. For the present, we must do everything in our power to prevent Titan's summoning, and that means finding and questioning this Kobold. Are you staring at this weapon? Certainly has kind of escaped the Kobold's notice. If he has any sense, he will attempt to quit this place, will he not? Gasp. Oops. Stay back, away, far back. I am not a, God's no use, pointless, hopeless, no use. You're so small. Please don't hurt me. I only wish to talk. Yes, yes, just talk. That seems more like running. This was a stupid plan. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But if I tell no one, then everyone will. Ah, he found me again. What to do, what to do, what to do. I come in peace, only to talk, speak, say, talk. So please, please, do not hurt me. So this is our wily kobold infiltrator, is it? No wonder the soldiers were on edge. He could very well give one a bruised knee. Damn. Got him. Huzzah, we've got him. Fine work, Scions. So, little one, thought you could sneak into my camp, did you? Plotting to steal my crystals, were you? No, no, no. I came to talk. I asked for help, but when your soldiers saw me, they drew their weapons and shouted, and Now, let us all take a deep breath and discuss this like civilized individuals. What is your name, child? Pickman Gabu of the 620th Order. At least, I will be a Pickman one day. Well met, Gabu. I'm Alphino, and this is my sister Alice. Fluffy, the man who found you, is our friend, and now that you know our names, we can be friends too. Now, Commander Bloden here thinks you wanted to take his crystals, Gabu, but you said you came to ask for help. Why to us, and not to your own people? What happened, Gabu? Can you tell us? No one is going to hurt you, alright? Not while we're here, I promise. The Patriarch, Gulp? Patriarch is going to summon the Great Father again, and you have to stop him, beat him, fight him, stop him. Gabu's parents said they didn't want it, along with many others, but the Patriarch wouldn't listen. He was so angry, raging, fuming, angry. He said that if they didn't have iron in their hearts, they would serve as coke for the furnace. And then the guards took my parents and the others away. I haven't seen any of them since. Coke for the furnace. Did not want to believe it, but I have heard tales of Fokai fashioned from the bones of beastmen, which worshippers use in their rituals, hoping to summon more powerful incarnations of their gods. By the 12, that is sickening. No one listens to Gabu, no matter how much he cries, pleads, begs, cries. They do not listen, only talk about punishing the overdwellers and praising the Great Father. Gabu loves the Great Father, but he loves his parents too. So please, help Gabu stop the Patriarch and save his parents. Commander, advise Maelstrom Command that Titan's summoning is imminent. Should the worst come to worst, we will require their support. Time being of the essence, we three will attempt to infiltrate the Kobold stronghold, secure their crystals, and free the prisoners. Well, if you're sure, forgive me if I don't seem optimistic. We'll make ready, just in case. I have faith that we may yet stop the ritual. We would surely have detected the associated etheric disturbance had Titan manifested already. But I cannot speak for the prisoners. 12 have mercy, that they would even contemplate sacrificing their own flesh and blood. Brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. Time is of the essence. We must see what else Gabu knows and formulate a plan without further delay. I heard Great Father Titan loves crystals, cherishes coverts, loves them. And if we gather enough, he will return. That's why the Patriarch told everyone to go forth and gather them. So I was thinking, if we take all the crystals away, maybe the Great Father won't come? Very good, Gabu. I was just thinking the same thing. Do you know where these crystals are stored? I know. Oh. Several spots, each defended by a different order. Gabu wanted to steal them, but he was too afraid to go alone. Yes, yes, too afraid to go alone. But together we can take them away and hide them. Come, come. Gabu will lead you to the first cache. Quickly, quickly. Do you have them all? Good. Lead on, Gabu. This way, this way. Time is short. If you have the crystals, we should move on to the next cache. Do you hear me, brother? Brother! Aye, aye. It's just that... I'm quite certain that crate once bore Ishgardian seals. Someone took great pains to remove all traces, but enough remains to make out the pattern. See for yourself. Struggle to imagine kobolds traveling to Korthus to obtain crystals, much less bothering to conceal their origins. I suspect these crystals were smuggled into Vilbrand by another party, most likely a pawn of the Ascians, as Thancred speculated. I don't understand. Who are the Ascians? Do they worship Great Father Titan too? Never you mind about that. As Alisai said, we do not have a lot of time. Can you lead us to the next cache, Gabu? Yes, yes, yes. Of course, Gabu knows the way. This next one is the last and very large, very big, very huge, very large. Confound it. What about you, Fluffy? Any luck? Nothing, nothing, nothing. But this cannot be. Gabu saw them. Spied, spotted, saw. Think, brother, think. They must have moved them, yes? The question is, where to, and why? Within Orgrimmar, where they summoned Titan once before, and mean to do so again. It is the only explanation. What about Mother and Father and the others? We have to help them. And we will, Gabu. We will. Stay calm, and we still have time. They have yet to call for the remaining crates, yes. If they had, then they would have found the other caches empty and sounded the alarm. Nevertheless, I believe the time for stealth has passed. We must breach the navel and seize the remaining crystals. There is no other way to prevent Titan's summoning. First, give me your crystals, that I might deliver them into Commander Bloden's custody. We dare not take them into the bowels of the mountain. Crystals, Fluffy, if you would be so kind. Thank you. I shall deliver them to Camp Overlook for safekeeping and brief Commander Bloden on the situation. Pray, go on ahead. As I recall, there is an aetheryte within the Orgrimmar mines that should deliver you to the navel. Gabu doubtless knows the way. Wait for me there. I shall rejoin you anon. Strange. I would have thought you eager to remain in the thick of the action, but if this is what you would prefer, then Godspeed, brother. This way, this way. Ah, I take it this is the aetheryte we seek. Right then. As soon as Alphano arrives, we go. I trust you're feeling suitably heroic. There's no telling what sort of resistance we'll face in there. Quickly, you clods. Briskly, swiftly, quickly. I will not suffer any further delays. Lay down your arms and surrender. We have your crystals. There will be no summoning this day. Overdwellers here? But how did you... Where are my parents, Patriarch? Where are they? Poor little baby. Mother? Father? Cook for the furnace. You monster. How could you? We are but servants of the Lord of Crags. We are his, that he may drink of our blood and partake of our flesh, that he might draw upon the strength of his children and defend them from the tyranny of the overdwellers. No, LSI, not yet. I understand, Patriarch. I do. Your fear, your anger, your hate. You would do anything to protect your people, anything to deliver them from despair, whatever it takes to ensure that those who threaten you can never do so again. But in your single-minded pursuit for this objective, you have brought suffering on your own kith and kin. You have sacrificed the lives of the very people you sought to protect. But it need not be this way, Patriarch. Renounce this bloody course, cease your attempts to summon your god, and work with us, together to build a lasting peace. Another peace to be abandoned at the overdweller's convenience. Oathbreakers, all of you. Liars, betrayers, oathbreakers. You take and you take and you take, and when you have had your fill, you sue for peace. You promise that this time is the last, until you grow hungry again. And when we dare to defend ourselves, you declare that this beast tribe cannot be suffered to live, that our God drains the land of ether, and brings naught but suffering, death, destruction, suffering upon us all. I will hear no more lies from you and yours, overdweller. You've ruined your own lands. You'll not ruin ours. I said I'd come for you, and I did. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Say something, please. 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 Oh. Baby Sutton Titan. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up. Seven hells. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Alphino, give him to me. Take a spirit to the face. We must away. Just leaved his carbuncle there. Jerk move. By the 12, how could I be so foolish? I should have known better than to let Gabu accompany us, given what we were like to find. His anguish and despair have served to birth a primal, just as surely as would the supplications of the faithful. Worse, being born of such tumultuous emotion, this carnation of Titans seems incapable of naught but violence. If we have one cause for optimism, it is that while many crystals were present, they represented but a fraction of the quantity intended for the summoning ritual. Meaning that Titan must be far weaker than planned. Be that as it may, he is yet a primal, and the longer we leave him to bleed the land of Ether, the stronger he will grow. And should Titan be permitted to leave Orgrimmar, more lives will be lost, the Maelstrom will rally their troops, and the cycle will continue. Fluffy, you know what must be done. Will you face the Lord of Crags once more? Thank you, my friend. Alasai and I will tend to Gabu. When you have finished with the primal, look for us in Camp Overlook. We will be expecting you. Naval hard. Just straight up doing level 50 content. Hello, Hilda. Well, I come here to get supplies for the watch, and what should I find but a familiar face? And if that ain't a pretty lad you've got with you, Fluffy, and a high-born one besides, you done well for yourself. This is my boyfriend now. I'm teasing is all. Any road? It's good to see you, my friend. What brings you here? Lady Hilda, your reputation precedes you. As you may be aware, approval was recently passed for the restoration of the firmament. In order to build a district that best serves its residents, we would know what good citizens such as yourself envision for it. Will you not share with us your thoughts? Ah, so you're the one they appointed overseer. Well then, you won't mind if I speak freely. Now, this ain't hardly revolutionary, but I want the firmament to be a place we can all make an honest living, where if a man works hard enough, he can have a roof over his head and food in his belly. Aye, might be as the war is over, but for a lot of us, the struggles continues. Same as afore. A sort of struggle blue bloods will never know. Remember, Ishgard don't belong only to the high and the holy now. If the nation's to prosper, all her citizens need to prosper. Well, we must be getting on. But if you need of guards, feel free to send word. If the coin's fair, I reckon we can come to an arrangement. Oh, that there is Lord Briarden. I'd heard that he was traveling the realm in his capacity as a consulting inspector, but appears he has returned to Ishgard. Like your good self, he is a well-traveled individual, and I should like to inquire after his opinion. Do you suppose we could beg a moment of his time? The one with the spectacles. Whoa. That was quite a emote I just did. If it is an inspector you seek, you shan't find one more capable. Indeed, you could do worse. Far worse. We were just talking like a half hour ago. Lord Briarden. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Francel de Helinard. I have the honor of overseeing the reconstruction of the firmament. It is known that you are intimately familiar with all the city-states of Eorzea, and I should be much obliged for your insights. In your expert opinion, what is the one thing you believe that the firmament needs most? If the district is to thrive, then it must have a thriving economy. As I have oft observed in my travels, the flow of goods and people is as lifeblood to a city and should be encouraged. Ishgard has long been insular, but the recent changes present a great opportunity. Given the right planning, I am hopeful that ours may become a nation where no citizen lives in want. I bid you the very best in your endeavors, and should you have need of my investigative prowess, do not hesitate to call upon me. By your leave. Ho there, old boy. Yes, come running. Fluffy. I was wondering when you would notice me. Ever a pleasure to see you, old boy. If it isn't my dear Lord Francel, how fares your lovely sister? Has she perchance spoken of me of late? If Laniette has spoken of you, I fear it has not been in our conversations. Now, if I may change the subject, Lord Emmanuelaine, you will have heard that the restoration of the firmament has commenced. Is there aught that you envision for the district? What I envision? Can't say I've given it much thought. Well, what with the war finally come to an end, what is in order if not festivities? Yes, make the firmament into a festive place, I say. A place where one and all may engage in revelry each and every day. Beg pardons, my lord, but I believe Lord Francel seeks something more specific, and dare I say, constructive. No, the advice comes from the heart, and I shall take it to heart. You have my gratitude, Lord Emmanuelaine. Always a pleasure to aid a fellow man. Now then, we must be on our way. Take care, Fluffy, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Like aid a woman. Ugh. Oh, and Lord Francel, do send my fondest regards to your sister. Tell her how very helpful I was. Yes, that's good. I dare say we have spoken with enough people. Shall we conclude the surveying and review what we have learned? Thanks to your presence, we were able to hear a diverse variety of opinions. Each one has merit. The question is whether the visions can be made reality. No, such pessimism will not serve. I must have faith and try my earnest best. Now then, for all this talk of the firmament, you haven't even seen it, have you? Would you care to inspect it with me? I'll be there for a while hence, so please join me at your leisure. Dalmelane by the entrance will show you to the district. Oh, and when you see the man, would you mind giving him this? 'Tis bone-chilling work, standing there he does. It is a little something to keep him warm. I could as easily hand it to him to be sure, but it would be all the more warming coming from the savior of Ishgard. With that, I shall go on ahead. See you in the firmament, my friend. Welcome back, my lord. Will you be heading to the firmament? Here's some wine. The Lord Overseer, you say? He truly is too kind. Before I begin working under Lord Francel, I had thought as little of highborns as I assumed they thought of us commoners. But my lord not only treats everyone as equals, he shows kindness to everyone. And to receive this gift from the hands of the savior of Ishgard himself, I am touched beyond words. Sniff. Thank you, my lord. I shall enjoy the wine when I find a quiet moment. Now then, I believe Lord Francel is expecting you in the firmament. Just say the word and I will show you through. There you are, Fluffy. I bid you welcome to the firmament. As you can see, the rebuilding itself is complete. This is but the beginning, however, and we must now turn our attention to the running of the district. We have much and more to do, but speaking to the people has stoked the fires of my determination. I want to make the firmament into a vibrant, thriving district where highborn and lowborn alike may live side by side in harmony. Yet I would be lying were I to say the task does not daunt me. There is a limit to what I can achieve, especially given House Halienar's diminished influence. If I come at a bad time... Count Edmond. To what do we owe the honor? Lest you forget, I am the Count de Forton no more. Just a retired old man. As for my presence here, Emmanueline reported that Fluffy was in Ishgard, and I thought I would make a social call. You'll forgive me my eavesdropping, but it seems the reconstruction project is not immune to the uncertainty that has accompanied our nation's transition to a republic. Fluffy, I am given to understand that the other nations have established residential districts for adventure use. Is that true? Sorry, I've been living under a rock. district specifically for adventurer use, where they might possess their own abode. Intriguing. The truth is, our nation is divided by a gulf. While the redistribution of wealth may go some ways towards closing this gulf, it shall not lead to true independence for the masses. We must ask ourselves, in this new age in which we live, what role should each one of us play? In pondering this dilemma, I believe that we may draw inspiration from adventurers and their independent lives. Independent lives. If we were to translate this into the firmament, might it not assume the form of self-administration? It seems you have found a spark, in which case this old man's ramblings have served their purpose. I shall pray for your success, Lord Francel. Your words are as a beacon in the dark, my lord. Thank you. Well, Fluffy, you seem to be occupied at present, so I will leave you to your tasks. But when next we meet, I hope to be regaled with your recent adventures. As ever, our Forton Manor is at your disposal should you need rest. Done talking, Francel? 'Cause I'm itching to meet your hero friend. Yes, forgive me for the wait. Fluffy, permit me to introduce you to Augubert, formerly an engineer of our house. He now serves as the project's chief foreman. It's thanks to his leadership on site that I am able to focus my energies on the administrative aspects of the reconstruction. Francel's told me all about you, Fluffy. First you saved the whole bleeding nation, now you're helping us rebuild it brick by brick. What can I say, except it's great to have you on board. If you have any questions about the work, I'd be happy to field them. Just save the tedious stuff like the budget for Francel, eh? Speaking of which, if you can spare another moment, my friend, I should like to consult you on some administrative matters. With all the little tasks demanding my time, I cannot always be present on site, but I endeavor to visit as often as possible, and I hope to see you often too. Augubert. Otkin over there. Upo of Fortune. Koopa of Fortune just housing stuff. Oops. Is the Crags one the same one I have? Yeah. Okay. Ah, there he is. Did I not tell you he would return safe and sound? The deed is done then. Titan is no more. Good. There has been enough tragedy this day. It has been like that since he regained consciousness. We believe he can hear us, but he has made no attempt to respond. He is almost certainly still in shock, but we cannot discount the possibility that he succumbed to the Primal's influence. Should that prove to be the case, he must be put to death, like any other thrall. Such is the Alliance's policy, yes? You have the right of it. But we must not rush to conclusions. After all, we once feared that Ysaele's followers were beyond reason, and many have since laid down their arms and accepted Ishgard's peace. We can but watch, wait, and pray. There is naught to be gained from dwelling on an eventuality over which we have no control, much less one which may never even come to pass. Let us tend to more immediate matters. Informing Commander Bloden of Titan's demise, for example. May be certain that he will be glad of the news. Would you be so kind as to break it to him? Here a sight for sore eyes. When others came back without you, I feared the worst, but they said you had matters well in hand. All settled then, is it? I'm glad to hear it, but not half as glad as my men'll be. Believe you me. Regardless of whether or not he was summoned properly, a primal is a primal, and there ain't a soul in the maelstrom that hasn't lost a friend to one. Don't get me wrong. Like, we were all prepared to do our part. But we weren't so naive as to think we'd live to tell the tale. Thankfully, of course, it didn't come to that, which, my friend, sounds to me like cause for celebration. Now, I know you lot have places to be, but why not stay the night? We'd be honored to raise a glass to the triumphant return of Titan's Bane.
Who goes there? Oh, it's you. Forgive me for straying from the camp. He hasn't been feeling too welcome, to say the least. I thought a change of scenery might do him good. But, alas. It's so quiet out here. The stars spread out before us, beckoning across time and space. Dawn may banish even the darkest night. How bitterly beautiful, those words. I should be stronger for all my experiences, yet my heart aches more than ever. I never understood why Grandfather gave his life that day. I thought that if I came here, I would find the answers I needed. But when I finally laid eyes on the land he sacrificed everything to save, saw firsthand the bickering, the pettiness, I was disappointed. I was angry. I could not fathom how these people were more deserving of his love than his family, than me. Nevertheless, I had to believe he had good reason. I was determined to uncover the whole truth of the calamity and, perhaps in so doing, find my own purpose in this sea of chaos. My travels have been enlightening, but I cannot say that I have enjoyed them. I have lost count of the many petty crises that I was helpless to resolve and of the people whose actions I could not understand. There were others, of course. Good people. People with whom I felt a kinship, whose lives I could not save. I found myself asking what it was all for. Why try if I was doomed to fail in the end? But then I recalled grandfather's words to my father, years ago before he left Sharlayan behind forever. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. We must all protect that which we hold most dear in the manner of our own choosing. We have to try, do we not? Of course, it's one thing to try and another to do. There were times while I was tracking the Warriors of Darkness when I faltered, when I was afraid. But then I thought of my brother, of Urianger. Oh, pray forgive me. This conversation has been rather one-sided, hasn't it? Mayhap you could recount some of your adventures in Ishgard.
I don't know how much story I can tell you with a nod, but we can try. I guess this one. I don't know.
Gods! They must have been at each other's throats from dawn till dusk. I dare say you managed to keep the peace, though. Merely being in the presence of the Warrior of Light is surely enough to shame anyone into behaving. The hopes and dreams of so many rest on your shoulders, Warrior of Light. As long as the sun rises, we can but carry on, for the sake of those we hold dear.
That swelling cliffside introspection.
To what end dost thou cling to the tainted gifts of the Mother?
Every tool has its purpose. Even this. Well, what is it?
The seeds sown in Vilbrand have been plucked from the earth and left to wither. Alas, Titan's demise sufficed not to drive the kobolds to deepest desperation.
What did the man in white have to say?
That we are to proceed as he did first set forth.
Well, that's easy for him to say! It's not his bloody world on the brink of destruction, is it?
Be thou well reminded that with an end to Ishgard's unrest, naught now remaineth to preoccupy the Scion's thoughts, and thus may they devote their every energy to thwarting thee and thine. I foresee only greater difficulties ahead.
Foresee? Are you sure you don't welcome them? I'm starting to think you might hold a candle for your old friends after all.
Pray do not mistake mine intent. I but look upon the path which lieth before us with due trepidation. Shouldst thou be of like mind, pray consider then another course. For the power to invoke the ardour belongeth not unto the Ascians alone. With thine own hand strike down thine enemy, the so-called hero who would see thy home lost to light. Do but this, and thou wouldst at a single stroke disrupt the all-too delicate balance of this realm, plunging her straightways into chaos.
You do realize what you're suggesting, yes?
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. The words of my teacher, and a creed I hold close to my heart.
Is that their dad? Or is that Urianger?
Very well. Draw him out. We'll make it quick.
It shall be done. What good a creed one cannot uphold? What hurts soothed? What lives saved? Oh, hapless fool, what hast thou wrought by thine own hands?
Straight up Hamlet out here.
Nymphilia, my friends, I shall not now beg your forgiveness. Full deeply though it paineth me to walk it, I shall not stray from my chosen path. As Moonbreeder remains steadfast, so too shall I.
Almost certainly Urianger. What ho, Fluffy, I trust you had a good night's rest. I was but this moment speaking with Thancred and Y'shtola via Link Pearl. They had some interesting news to share. Apparently, during the course of their respective investigations, both came across crates which had once borne Ishgardian seals. It would seem that someone in the capital has been very busy indeed. Accordingly, the Temple Knights have launched a full-scale investigation. Sir Emeric believes that it is only a matter of time before the culprits are found. We shall have to wait and see. In the meantime, it seems only prudent to look into the recent activities of the other tribes, in case they too are flush with Ishgardian crystals. And with that in mind, I suggest we pay Urianger another... Wait, where is Alice? She was here a moment ago, with Gabu. Gabu and Alice. Let me guess. It's time to leave, isn't it? My apologies for disappearing again. If it is any consolation, I've already packed my thing. How is he? Brother, Commander Bloden. Something tells me you are not solely here out of concern for his welfare. To answer your question, there has been no change. He will not speak or eat. I'm not even sure if he slept. If he did, he seems none the better for it. He just shuffles about, with that same expression on his face. You will look after him, won't you, Commander? And treat him with every kindness? He's still in there. I know it. beneath the anguish and the despair, he's still fighting with all his heart. He deserves to be given that chance, until he comes back to us, until we know for certain what has become of him. Aye, aye, you needn't worry. If he hadn't risked his neck to warn us and help you secure the better part of the crystals, this could have turned out a damn sight worse than it did. We'll not soon forget that, and nor will Maelstrom Command. I'm sorry, Gabu. I truly am. You should never have been made to, and I know I cannot possibly understand. Mayhap there is nothing I can do or say. The pain, the anger, the helplessness. Hold fast to the memories of better times. Remember them as they were. And when it hurts so much your heart feels fit to burst, let it burst. Let it burst and fill up again with your love for them, and never ever forget. Come along, little one. I will remember them. And you, Alice. Thank you. Have faith, sister. Your words have reached him. In time, he will recover. And those who orchestrated these events will be made to answer for their crimes. A 1,000 times over, aye, there will be a reckoning. For Gabu. Can I make a dark... was it Dark Knight or whatever? Can I make a Dark Knight weapon with the Crag weapon coffer? I assume no, because they don't exist at that level, but... I've heard the glad tidings from Ogamaru, my friends. By the grace of the 12 and your most valiant efforts, the people of Limsa Lominsa may rest easy. I should like to think so, yes. Though we failed to prevent the Lord of Crags from manifesting, we did succeed in weakening him, enabling our friend to dispatch him before the Warriors of Darkness could make matters worse. 'Twas by no means an unmitigated success, but it will have to suffice. And let us speak of another matter, one which weigheth heavy on my lady's mind. As thou didst request, I sought out the Garen oracles, that we might better understand the aims of the Warriors of Darkness. Though their copious use of allegory defieth any single interpretation, the oracles paint a most disturbing picture. One of worlds parallel to our own, apart yet linked, reduced to ruin with every umbral calamity. 7 times have they succeeded, then of 10 and 3 only 6 worlds remain. Aye, all is as my lady Minfilia spake unto thee. She spake so good. As for what becometh of these reflections when they and the source are rejoined, frail flesh undone in umbral fires, each soul surrendereth to her call, to flow unto the endless sea, there it to endure. Then Then if the warriors of darkness succeed, everyone in their world will die? In essence, yes. The verse speaketh of the renunciation of the flesh and subsequent return to the life stream. However, this fate may yet be preferable to the alternative, for if the first were to fall into transcendent light in the manner the warriors of darkness described, it would give way unto the void wherein none may know either life or death. Far better to die, they reason, for in death there is life. The essence of a soul, which returneth unto the source, may be born anew. Saved, such at least is their belief, I surmise. If that is true, then, gods, no one should ever have to make such a choice. Ere we speak further on this subject, I would share with thee another recent discovery. 'Twould seem that several sizable shipments of crystals have been delivered into the hands of certain Alamegan parties. Alamegans? Strange, and you believe this to be the work of the same Ishgardian smugglers who supplied the beast tribes? No, beyond a shadow of a doubt, unless thou wonder at their motive. I would remind you that the Ascians did once attempt to bring about the summoning of Rhalgr. The individuals who took receipt of these shipments are refugees belonging to a group devoted to the cause of Alamegan liberation. It may also interest thee to know that their Ishgardian supplier appears to be none other than the remnants of Eileen Royal's network of spies. Surely you jest, and yet it is not so surprising. Bereft of leadership and hunted by the Alliance, I can well imagine such villains being desperate enough to conspire with the Ascians, assuming they even know or care who their new employers are. All of which is irrelevant. Forgive me. We must seek out the resistance group, which received the crystals without delay. Fluffy, Alice, will you come with me to Little Alamigo? Yes, of course. I should like to hear what they have to say for themselves firsthand. May you ever walk in the light of the Citadel. Boop, boop, boop. Alphanod, Alice, Fluffy, are you three listening? Good. I have tidings. The Temple Knights raided the smuggler's warehouse less than an hour ago. Cursory interrogation of the prisoners yielded confirmation that they were in the employ of, and I hope you are sitting down, a man in black robes. Then you have them, and the crystals too. What few remained, regrettably, it would seem they dispatched one final shipment in the hours before we struck. 'Twas bound for Little Alamigo, we are told, where it will be received by members of a local resistance group. Since Sir Emmerich's men no longer have need of my services, I have a mind to head that way. As do we. By happy coincidence, we learned of the shipments but a few moments ago. Ah, and there I was thinking I might finally be one step ahead of the Warrior of Light and his little helpers. Ah, wait a moment. There's more, and I defy you not to be surprised by this revelation. The leader of the Ishgardian smugglers was formerly in the ploy of one Eileen Royal, the infamous Ivy herself. I don't remember this character at all. Once again, Thancred, I fear I must inform you that... Thancred, with whom else have you shared this information? About the smugglers? No one. As I think I mentioned, the raid was less than an hour ago. I was planning to contact Y'shtola next. But is there someone else you would have me notify first? No, there isn't. What in the world has gotten into her? It is twice now that we have sought Aranger's aid, and twice she has treated him as if he were a stranger. The Archon was one of Grandfather's most dedicated pupils, and spent as much time at the Levellier estate as we did. He's practically a member of the family. Truth be told, I struggle to recall a day from my childhood when I did not see the three of them laughing together. If this continues, I may have to raise the matter. Later, though, little Alamigo awaits. I'll get to the bottom of this. Oh, forgive me. It's been a long day. Did you have something to say? Voyage. Oh, I've always struggled to understand what's going on in his head, now more than ever. Listen, Fluffy, if anything should happen, it should be me who... Just know that I'm prepared to do what must be done. Right then. To more pressing matters. Since we have no idea when Thancred might arrive, I suggest we see what information we can gather in his absence. So, to review, we are reliably informed that members of the Alamigan resistance operating here have taken receipt of several large shipments of crystals, our task being to ascertain who and why. Given the size of the settlement, I find it hard to believe that anyone here could be wholly unaware of the Resistance's movements. The challenge, of course, will be finding individuals who are both able and willing to share such information with outsiders. It would seem sensible to divide our forces. Fluffy, why don't you question the residents in the eastern half of towns? Alice and I will do the same in the west, and afterwards we can rendezvous here to share our findings.